I'm sitting at my work, at my desk. I'm preparing all the points for a conversation with a Catholic priest. My mom, who is a devout Catholic, called him to come over to our house to reconvert me back to Catholicism. So I'm sitting there, I'm just preparing all the points. I'm so confident that I will just devour all his points. I have all the answers to his questions. I have all the answers to his objections. I even write to ChatGPT and ask him to imitate a Catholic priest, and I answer his questions. And I absolutely get to the corner, and even ChatGPT said, as a Catholic priest, that we don't really have an answer to these questions, and these are really good questions. So I'm just so confident. I'm laughing at the priest's title, a habilitated doctor at the University of blah blah blah. I'm just laughing at him against a 17-year-old guy with a Bible. I'm just so confident that this debate or this conversation is going to go so well, and my mom will convert to Protestantism. I'm just so confident that at the end of the day, my mom is just going to be a Protestant. On my way back home, I'm on a bus, and I'm visualizing how the conversation is gonna go. I'm visualizing that, you're gonna ask him a question, it's gonna be your first question, then he will give you an answer, then you will object to that answer and say that it's wrong, and you will go back and forth, and at the end, you will come off as a winner. I'm just so confident. I'm just so convinced that I'm gonna win this conversation. Then I arrive at my home, at my living room, waiting for the priest to come over. He finally comes over, weirdly not wearing his collar. He is very confident, arrogant in his body language. He sits across the table from me, and he leans backwards and says, "Yo, so what you've got?" I'm shaking. This conversation means just so much to me. I want my mom to convert to Protestantism, to leave Catholic Church. So this conversation means so much to me. And the priest is just so confident, leans back without any foreplay, and just says, "So what you've got?" And so I'm quite nervous, but I'm still very sure of every of my point, and I just know that I have the truth and he doesn't. So I asked him my question, and I think that I'm gonna get a response, and then I will respond, and we'll go back and forth. But he asks for a piece of paper and a pen, and he starts making some circles, and he explains some things, totally going around the bush and not giving us the clear answer, because he just didn't have any. He gave us a 30-minute lecture around the bush, not on the topic, just totally missing the point. When I tried to say something, interrupt him, just say that, "No, you're wrong. No, I can't say it," because he interrupts me. He's like, "I still haven't finished." And he just goes on saying and interrupting me and not allowing me to talk. But every time I get to speak, every time I'm like, "Dude, just allow me to speak," every time I do that, I just devour his points. I just break all his points, and he stands no chance against me. He's showmaning me, and he is appealing to emotions, which clearly doesn't work on me, but my mom is already crying. But every time I get to speak, which wasn't much, but every time I do, I just break his points. He stands no chance against me. So after 3.5 hours of this pretty much monologue of his, we end the day off. I've spoken for maybe 15 minutes, but I'm very confident that I've won this debate. So we say our goodbyes, and my mom goes outside with the priest to have some one-on-one talk. All I heard was the priest saying to my mom that, "Oh, you're gonna have a very tough time with these two," talking about me and my brother, who is also a Protestant. And then they start whispering, so I don't hear what they are saying. But I'm standing in my room, it's already dark outside, I have no lights turned on, so I'm standing in this dark room, and I'm just so proud of myself. I'm like, "Yo, this conversation, even though he didn't allow you to speak, even though I pretty much didn't say anything, but whenever I spoke, he just didn't have any answers." So I'm sitting there, I'm very happy that even though it didn't turn out the way that you expected, you still won the debate. You still had good objections against his points to which he didn't have any answers. So I'm standing there very happy. My mom finally comes in and she's like, so how has it been? And I'm saying to her that, he didn't allow me to speak. He has been here for 3.5 hours. I spoke for maybe 15 minutes. He appealed to emotions. He didn't have any answers to my points. He gave strawmans. Like, this was just so horrible. My mom is like, yeah, I know Catholics are like this. At that point, I'm like, my mom is a Catholic. At that point, I realized that, Bart, you succeeded. At that point, I'm just filled with joy that I succeeded in converting my mom to Protestantism. But literally a second later, my mom asks a question that just makes me speechless. I'm still shaking after this conversation. And my mom says that, so, did he reconvert you? At that moment, I'm like, fuck. So what, is she still a Catholic? I'm repeating to her all the points that I said to the priest. I'm showing her the writing from Catholic Church that she is excommunicated for what she believes. She is not a part of the church for what she believes. She can't be Catholic and believe in what she believes. I'm telling this to her, but she just starts crying and she says that I'm the biggest failure, that I failed as a mother because my sons just left the Catholic Church. In that moment, I just realized that no matter what I do, no matter how well I perform, there's always some things that are beyond my control. I can give the best presentation, I can give the best points, I can give it all. I can perform the best I could. I can devour somebody's points, but it still won't be enough. There are still things that are beyond my control, and no matter how hard I try, no matter how well I perform, this won't matter at the end of the day. Of course, I don't want to fall into this nihilism, but it's so discouraging that this might be a repeating pattern in the world, that there are just some things that are beyond our control. We can open a business and we will fail anyways, no matter how hard we try. Though I believe that I will succeed. So after that point of time, my mom just went to her room and went crying. And she didn't speak to me for the next few days. I mean, she did say just one-word answers, but it was very stiff. Like, the atmosphere was very stiff. But yeah, but since that point of time, I just realized that, dude, you can't focus so much and you can't lose your nights, stay up all nights, and worry about the things that might just turn out to be beyond your control. I just realized that there are things beyond my control and it's not worth losing my mind over these things. There's only a certain amount of facts that I can give to something. Like, you know this from the subtle art of not giving a fuck. Let's say we have 100 facts, and the more facts I give, the more worries I give to this thing that I still have no control over. I have no control over if my mom converts or not. I gave the best points. I refuted his points. The priest didn't stand any chance, even though he spoke for so freaking much. But at the end of the day, my mom is still a Catholic. So at that point, I was like, I should just focus on the things that are within my control, because that's the only thing that matters. Of course, at that point, before the conversation, amazing that I prepared all the verses, amazing. But afterwards, it's not worth losing my mind over, first of all, my past that can be changed. Second of all, like, I can give the best points, but at the end of the day, it might not matter. So I should just focus on the things that are within my control. I shouldn't have come in with this mindset that, oh, my mom is surely gonna convert. Because she didn't. The only thing that was sure is that I would perform well, because I prepared. This was the only sure thing. And this was This should have been the only thing that I focused on, which is just preparing well and hoping for the best, but not expecting my mom to convert to anything. But I set these stupid expectations that, your mom is surely gonna convert. Surely you have such good points that she must. There's no universe in which she doesn't. But at the end of the day, she is still a Catholic. And I could have given the best points, and I did. I could have rebutted the priest. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, I've noticed that if I focus on the things that are beyond my control, which is converting my mom, of course, I have some control over the way that I present the points, alright? But I don't have that much control if whether she converts or not. I don't. I've noticed that the more I focus on these things that are beyond my control, I'm just more and more miserable. I just lay in my bed and here's my bed. I lay in my bed, listen to music and don't want to do anything. Just lay here and don't do anything because I focus on the wrong things. There are only just some things that are within my control, like recording, and with mom to be preparing the points. Alright. But I shouldn't have been so affected by the way that she didn't convert, because I could have suspected that she won't. She has been indoctrinated by this shit for decades now. So me having these stupid expectations and just worrying about the things that are beyond my control was just stupid. This is the core of Stoicism. You know this, you heard it a million times, and every time I hear about Stoicism, I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up. I heard it so many times, but this is so fucking true. You just focus on the things that are only within my control. Because truly, in life, if I focus on the things that are beyond my control, like the way I did with the conversation with the priest, I'm just gonna be so fucking miserable. I'm just gonna be so fucking sad and mad at the world for just not giving me what I expected. Because I focused on the wrong things. If I just focused on, okay, your input is gonna be this, you're gonna ask these questions, you're gonna answer these questions, you're gonna answer with these points, you have these points, and if I just focused on the inputs, and I wouldn't worry about the output, I would be absolutely content. I would be absolutely proud of myself that, dude, you have done the most you could have. You prepared really well. You're more knowledgeable than ever. And yet, I still have this empty feeling that, dude, this could have been such... how the fuck did your mom not convert? Still, and because I focused on these wrong things, I just ended up miserable. So I'm telling you, just from this time forward, I will try to focus only on the things that are within my control. Because focusing on the things beyond my control are just so stupid. This is such a stupid thing that I've done, and now I'm paying the price, which is just having such high stress for the past few days. 1.5 weeks. I'm just having so much stress because of this. And this is just because I focus on the things that are beyond my control, which only leads to misery. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Type in comments if you have any just ways of making the situation better, or how to convert my mom to Protestantism, and just what to do, because I freaking don't know. Type in comments your thoughts on this video. Like the video, find it helpful, and have a good day, dude.